Wow. You're listening to Woman of Wisdom podcast with Nora Wilson.
Spirit life to you. I am Nora Wilson, and I welcome you to Woman of Wisdom podcast. I would like to have a topic today, and it is the all-consuming fire of God. There is so much that is happening that people, young people, when they grow up, they are not aware of any kind of wrath when it comes down to a God. But some of the children, as they grow up, they only know the trauma that has been happening to them in their own homes. Well, to a child, the only God that they know, and they don't call them gods, they don't call them lords, they don't call them masters. We call those rulers parents. Well, there are three things, well, actually four, but there are three things that can anger our parents. When we don't obey them, that'll make them angry. When we mess up our bodies, some children, when they get older and go to school, they want to do things to their bodies and, cut up, put marks on their bodies. And, our parents don't appreciate messing up the skin that we give them, unblemished, unmarred. And then there's some things that we do when we grow up. We mistreat not only other children, but we mistreat our parents. And there's some scriptures in the Bible that I want to read to you. And this is going to kindle what kindles the wrath of a God. And like I've said in my podcast before, a lot of people do not understand what is a Lord, what is a God. Lord and God are titles. Your mama can call your daddy Lord. That's not his name. But to anger a Lord God is when you break the rules that is supposed to make things go smoothly for you. Well, as we get older, one of the things that we break, other than being dishonorable to our parents, we start wanting to be with the opposite sex. What do you know when you are 18 and 19 years old about joining yourself with an unbeliever? What do you know? But anyway, you can mess up your life when you try to yoke up with somebody. 2 Corinthians 6 chapter, 14th verse, it says, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers." Now, how are you going to be yoked up with somebody? It takes faith to do that. Okay, don't nobody know what I'm talking about. But I'll tell you, eventually, without faith, you can do nothing. It takes faith to live in this world. Without faith, you're going to be just plain out walking around in the dark. Well, let me get on with this next. I'm going to explain all this, but being unequally yoked with somebody is just as bad as if you need a transplant. Just because you need a new heart does not mean you just going to just get a heart from anybody and have them operate it and put it inside you. No, you got to have blood work, skin work, and all of that, tissue. And then you still need anti-rejection medication for the rest of your life. So what are you doing when you call yourself as a teenager and you are in love with somebody? You don't even know their blood type. You don't even know that everybody's blood you cannot receive. So if your blood don't work together, under no circumstances, what are you doing? You're creating a nightmare. But another thing that will cause the wrath, the anger of the Lord God that made everything in this world is when you defile the temple, your body. That's one. And then when you mistreat children and the widows, that's two. But the biggie, I already told you, was disobedience. Disobedience is taking a total overhaul when it comes down to what stirs up the anger of a Lord God of this world. Now, you're already taught to bow down and pray all the time. Pray, pray, pray. Put your head down. Pray to God that He'll save you. Pray that He'll deliver you. Pray that He'll give you shelter. But you don't have to do that because He already told you. When you are born in this world, just do what you're supposed to do to those that have rule over you, your mother and your father. What if you don't know your mama? What if you don't know your daddy? Somebody raised you. If you're living today, somebody raised you the best way they knew how. And some kind of way you didn't do so well. Well, I've got something to say about disobedience. Disobedience. What is disobedience? It's sin. And what is sin? S-I-N. What is sin? Sin is anything that you know is good and you don't do it. Anything that you know to do right and you don't do it. That's sin. That's a spot. That's a cancer. Cancer is anything that goes against the grain. Well, the wrath of God is his anger being poured out on the heads of the disobedient. And the disobedient is not the ones that are 50 and 60 years old. Oh, no, you've been disobedient a long time. Go to the jails. They're full of the disobedient. Go to the hospitals. They're full of them. But I'm going to tell you this. The children are the first on the list. They're the first ones. You start messing up long, long time ago when you start telling your mama that you couldn't stand her. When you start telling your mama to shut up. Well, it's like this. There's a religion. We all know about religion, but what is religion?
Wow. You're listening to Woman of Wisdom podcast with Nora Wilson.
Well, go to James chapter 1, verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before the Lord God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep yourself unspotted from the world. Now, first of all, make sure you don't have no children that you done made fatherless. Make sure that there's no children out there growing up, and you ain't been there in their life, because there's a raft. There's a raft for you. Children rule the world. We all been children, and what goes around comes around. But children got the promise if they are obedient. But once you break that promise, that's when the anger is kindled against you. And can't nobody put that fire out. Now, I'm going to go to the next podcast. And the next podcast, I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening in the world today among the disobedient. There's a fire, an unquenchable fire. Well, I am Nora Wilson, and you've been listening to WOW, W-O-W, which stands for Woman of Wisdom. And I thank you for listening to this podcast, and let me continue with the next Spirit Light to you.
Want to hear more of Woman of Wisdom podcast? Visit us on Facebook and YouTube and search for Woman of Wisdom podcast.
That life leads you. Step on the stones over the water of grief.